Hello, I'm Malaceo. This is marking day 8 of Vlogmas, and pretty much what I'm going to be talking about today is travel. Does it equal glow up? And long story short, it does. So before I get started, I would like to say please like, subscribe, and also in the description, I do have an Amazon store. I have an Amazon store, and pretty much it encapsulate everything that I use for maintenance for my hair, body care, suitcase luggages, all of the stuff as a minimalistic solo female traveler. Okay, but to continue, travel equaling glow up. Yes. There was a series of videos where people were gone, and you can just see spiritually that these people were just happy. They were free. Like, not everybody lost weight. Not everybody, I guess, like caught a tan. Not everybody grew their hair out or whatever. Like, everybody just looked so grounded within themselves and very, very much so radiating from the inside out. So my main thing is that yes, it is equaling a glow up because you have time to be with yourself, heal yourself, and even with healing yourself, also reducing stress, aka cortisol levels. That stuff, it will mess you up real bad. Okay, so please understand me when I say it's not necessarily about, because some people say it and I feel like it's not about running away from something. It's taking time for yourself, and it doesn't matter how you do it. I'm just talking about specifically because I'm doing it, people who do it and travel, So for me, definitely sleeping more, not feeling, and this is something I had to train myself to do because I do believe that mentally I do have a problem with like working, and I feel like I have to work, aka I believe I am a workaholic. I do. Have not been diagnosed, but I just sort of feel like I've been saying it to myself too many times just this past year. Like, just stop. You don't need to do anything, and it's just this urgency. And I believe, not believe, it is from a scarcity mindset of you got to work 2 times as harder to get half of what other people get and stuff like that. But pulling back and being grounded in myself, and also just building myself up. I'm noticing, especially now, because I'm definitely getting more into, like resting and stuff like that, even like more physically. I do go and work out for like an hour or 45 minutes or whatever. I am taking advantage of the gym because like I said, I'm getting myself together and getting myself back in shape and getting my body back to where I want it to be after, the depression and stuff that I had. And even with that, when you're by yourself and you don't really have influence as far as like other people that's in close proximity to you, it helps you rebuild up your sense of self. So for example, if I know that, and this is just an example, but if I know that I eat, and if I'm not supposed to be eating past a certain time, and I get people that's always trying to tell me to, oh, come out and drink or do this or do that, and I'm not going to say no, and to not necessarily hanging out with them, but socially, drinking or something like that, then you're going to be like, when you're used to doing that and like breaking that boundary for yourself, and you go out, even though it is you doing it, but when you're by yourself, you sort of get to a point, especially when you start being consistent and being like, yeah, this is a me problem. I didn't create that boundary for myself to be like, no, how about we go and hang out at this time so I can eat within this time bracket, or drink or consume or whatever within this time bracket, far as just a lifestyle change, because I do feel like with fasting, and I believe they say 90 days, doing something for 90 days, you will change it. And for me, not drinking, but like eating snacky snacks, I am a snacker. I even like fell off last night. I had like an ice cream, and maybe an hour before I went to bed, I had like an ice cream cone. And part of me feels like I'm just so hungry, and I know that I'm not, but I just want the snacks. And I, for years, pretty much my whole life is like, when you're bored, you eat. When you're blah, 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 you eat. And I never, well, I have been, in my opinion, like overweight, but I'm like, let me take care of myself. Let me pull back. Let me focus on myself. Let me focus on how I'm eating, what time I'm eating, and see how my body regulates to that. Even taking vitamins and stuff like that to balance out my hormones and stuff like that. Because I know that I was really, really stressed all the time for years. For years. So I know that my body re-regulating itself with my hormones, and even like cortisol levels from stress and stuff like that, all of that stuff is your hormones just going crazy and just going rapid. And so eating good, definitely sleeping, water intake, fruit, vegetable intake, just sitting and just lounging around and not doing anything, not thinking about anything. Like there's been times where I'll just, especially at this apartment now, it's like a 2-story like window. It's a loft apartment. And I look outside, and girl, it's been like a few days that I was just look at the clock, and I'm like, oh, I've been just looking outside for hours, especially when it's raining, because my mind is just wiped clean. And I feel like there's a big part of like letting your mind rest, not consuming something, not thinking about something. And even with that, I do feel like, especially with like the new moon, the blood moon, the eclipses, lunar and solar, there's a lot of things that's happening, even with me, and a lot of changes that's happening with me. So I know the person I was last year before I left, like even right before I left the States, because I left in February, I know I am a completely different person. Completely. So it's also giving yourself room to breathe, giving yourself room to be like, I'm more than my career. I'm more than what I'm doing for a living. I'm more than all of these things. So even with like that, even I guess you can call it like soft living essentially, but me not worrying about things and constantly worried about like other people, especially, and just being in my own space. That's why I'm very much so selective on who is in my space and who stays in my space. I am very good with like blocking people mentally, even socially, like on social media and stuff like that. I'm very good at detaching and stuff like that, because what's not for me is not what's for me. And like no hard feelings about it, and it's not for me to figure out. But I know that that is sort of hard for other people, and you do want, I mean everybody does, I do too, where everybody wants to connect and have other people and stuff or like that around, and like family or friends, even if you do find your own family and friend group out of, you know, what you was born into, essentially. There's a lot to unpack and to do shadow work and things like that for yourself, to figure out what you want to do, figure out what you need to do, figure out what you need. And it's an ongoing thing. So I don't say all of this stuff to be like, oh, like, because I can speak for myself. like the rushing, and I gotta like make up for lost time. I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta blah blah blah. And sometimes it was this saying off of The Office, and I think the character named Andy said it. He was like, I wish I knew I was in the good times when it was the good times, but you rob yourself of that when you rush, when you're constantly rushing to another goal, and you take for granted the life that you have. Like for me, I have the quietness right now. I have the time to reflect. I have the time in all of this stuff to, even before I become, I guess, big on YouTube, or I get a bunch of followers and people who are expecting certain things from me. I do have the time to become more comfortable speaking to the camera. I do have time to be positive the way that I want to be positive. I do have time to change from everything being about interior design into everything being about me and my brand and my life. I have time to encapsulate all the things that I like, that I actually like, and that I like to do. Like I do like interior design, but it's just I believe it's like the stress mechanism of being in that field, and how much, like, I believe I burned myself out, because I was like working, like I said, like 2 jobs and stuff like that, and always just I feel like I burned myself out, at least for now. Doesn't mean that I don't have to, not have to, but sometimes I'll feel like, oh, okay, let me create this, let me create that, and that's the thing, like things happen for a reason. So even with like the whole glow up thing, and I remember also, being open to spirit, in my personal opinion. I remember scrolling, and I was up at night, and I was scrolling, and this lady, never seen her before, was like, I'm trying to get 1,000, I believe she was like 1,000 women, 1,000 black women, something like that, to be able to be yoga instructors. I've always done yoga, like I said, like on and off, but to actually be like, this can be part of my channel, or can be part of my life, and I can feel good about, because I don't really show nobody my workouts, because I'm not a professional. I can sit here and tell you and show you what I do, but I feel like there is a responsibility when you're talking to people. And that's why I say a lot of times I think, and stuff like that, because I do not want to put off that I am a professional in something that I'm not. Okay. So there's a lot of things that I've been like gathering up. There's another class that I started taking, and I do want to just keep that to myself, personally. But even when I'm good at that, I'll probably, I will, because I talk, and letting people know, like, hey, this is what I do. This is how did I get to the point that I'm at now, and stuff like that. And to be honest, like this past year, being solo traveling and stuff like that, there's just like, when you really think about it, when you're not rushing, when you're not super busy, when you're not chasing, like, whatever, you have time. You really do. You have time. And for me, I kept on telling myself, like, I don't have time. I got to do this. I got to do that. And it's also speaking that into existence. So there's that. So even to think about, like, or the reason I'm talking about the mental and spiritual part of it so much, because that is a big part. That is the catalyst. That's the basis of the glow ups that you see in people. So I can talk about a little bit more superficial things. So like nails, I love some nails. I am going to get my ears pierced. I keep on, I'm so used to not, I mean, obviously I never got them pierced. So when I say I'm so used to not having them pierced, or like just not thinking about my ears. I completely forget. Like I'm gonna have to put it like on a calendar with an alarm to be like, go get your ears pierced. But yeah, so there's that. But girl, the body scrubs, I am gonna get a body scrub. I was debating if I was gonna do a bunch of this stuff when I get back into Vietnam. I probably would just wait. Um because the city I'm going to is, it's a smaller city, so it's like a little bit easier just to like walk and be like, oh, they're doing all the stuff, you know. But even like taking the vitamins, having time to do the research, having the time to get in touch with my body and getting in tune with my body to be like, my hormones not balancing the way that I want them to balance after I took out the Nexplanon birth control. And I'm like, my hormones aren't normally out like I want them to, as well as quickly as I would like them to. So I was like, let me try to like, you know, take these vitamins, let my body get itself back together. And I do feel like my skin overall, there's like an undertone of a glow. But like I said, like even like sleeping, I haven't been sleeping very well. So, but still, you know, you take care of your skin, the plumpness of it all. I might get a skin peel too, because I think that's like the main thing that I'm missing. It's like a skin peel. But my objective is to be as beautiful as possible, all right, without anything, naturally. Like I never had braces. The only thing I got is like my eyebrows are like microbladed, and it's mostly like right here to like keep these two even. But that's the only thing that's been done. Like I said, I don't even have my ears pierced. And I got my eyebrows microbladed, child, like 2021. So it's been like maybe 2022. Let me 2, 3, 4, 5, 3 years. So, and I haven't even got a touch up or anything like that. So, but yeah, but even being more even comfortable when I do, because I do get like the hormonal breakouts and stuff like that. And my body, I'm noticing slowly but surely, like my body is coming back. I won't say coming back to what it was before, because when you do get older, your body at 25 is not going to be your body at 35, even though I'm 34. But you know what I mean? Like, you know, 10 years and stuff like that, your body is changing. And also when you're doing stuff like taking or having, you know, birth control and stuff like that, it does change your body. It changes your body. It changes like how your hormones develop and stuff like that. So now me as a 34-year-old woman, a woman in her mid 30s, I am getting everything together. I am not trying to take back or rewind the clock, but I am trying to provide a stable base for my body, my mental, spiritual, emotional self, giving myself as much attention and as much love as I possibly can, so I can, if I choose to, or if I morph into another person, a different person, and the beautiful person that I continuously want to grow into, I'm giving myself a basis for that. I'm giving myself everything that I would need. I am taking care of myself. And a lot of people be like, oh yeah, give to yourself, do for yourself. And I feel like social media sort of turned it into like a materialistic thing, but really it's, you can't buy time, you know. And the nappy naps, the sleeps, all of those things, you cannot replace that. Even taking yourself out of the hustle culture and stuff like that, and just being comfortable and just doing what you want to do is completely fine. It's completely fine. So with my life being slower and the things that I've learned, and I already know like even this time next year is going to be, I'm going to be a completely different woman. Also, my locks have been growing like crazy. So they said, I believe, because like now I'm doing reties, and I feel like I need to do reties every month. So that's like 6 inches. So my hair should be here this time next year. Okay, the next time I'm doing Vlogmas, day 8, my hair is gonna be like here. I can feel it because it was like when I cut it, it was like barely touching my shoulder. It's like you probably, but it was like barely touching my shoulders, and now it got a little bit of hang. I'm not gonna do a whole thing. I can just make a whole video about my locks. I'm not doing that. But yes, traveling, but it's not just any type of traveling. I do believe heavily in the slow traveling aspect of it that will equal a glow up. Not the hustle and bustle, get up and go every day. I don't really believe that. At least not for me. So yeah, you can be adventurous, you can go out and hang out, but like take care of yourself, you know, do for yourself from the inside out. That's the important thing. I believe her name, Jennifer Lewis, she's like, when you're sitting in shit, when you're sitting in shit, and you sit there for too long, you forget it stank. Okay? You forget it stank, okay? Get up out of there. All right? Like, I'm just saying. So, you can't want more or wish for more when you're always around negativity. You can't, I mean, you could, but far as it materializing and you being in yourself and trying to figure out how to get there, being motivated and staying motivated about it and stuff like that is way more harder. Like, have you guys ever seen like that one video where people, like the verses between the two plants, it was one plant it was talking very positive to, and then there was another plant that they was talking negative to, and like over the course of like the next couple of days or weeks, you could tell like the plant that was being talked to in a good light was growing, flourishing, and the other one was like dwindling. And get up out of there. Get up out of there. All right? You deserve better because you believe you deserve better. It's not based on anybody else. Like the RuPaul said, if you don't love yourself, how the hell you gonna love anybody else? Like, I was thinking about like the way that that RuPaul says it. So that's why I'm just like giggly, because it's just like, oh God, like it's so extra. But anyway, that is all that I have for today. Hopefully you guys got something out of it. Leave a comment if you have any questions or anything like that. Once again, you can go to my Amazon store. It's going to be linked in the description. And also, I am Malaceo. And thank you for watching me, especially to this part. Please like once again and subscribe. Share. That will also be great. But yes, I will see you guys tomorrow. All right. Bye.